Kenneth wiped the sweat from his forehead as he loaded the last package into his delivery truck. The afternoon sun beat down mercilessly, but nothing could dampen his spirits today. It was Lydia's birthday, and he had been planning this surprise for weeks. "Hey, Marcus," Kenneth called out to his fellow driver as he jogged across the depot parking lot. "I need a huge favor, man." Marcus looked up from his clipboard, raising an eyebrow. "What's up, Ken? You look like you're about to jump out of your skin." "It's Lydia's birthday today, and I want to surprise her. Can you cover the rest of my route? I've only got about 15 deliveries left." "For your girl?" "Of course, brother. Go make her happy." Kenneth's heart raced with excitement as he pulled out his phone and navigated to the online store he'd bookmarked weeks ago. 3 months earlier, they had been window shopping downtown when Lydia had stopped dead in her tracks in front of a boutique. "Oh my God, Kenneth, look at that bag," she had whispered, pressing her face against the glass. "Isn't it gorgeous?" He had followed her gaze to an elegant leather handbag with gold hardware displayed prominently in the window. The price tag had made him swallow hard. $850. Nearly a month's rent for their small apartment. "It's beautiful, baby," he had said softly. "Maybe someday." "Yeah, someday," she had replied, her voice tinged with disappointment as they walked away. But Kenneth had memorized every detail of that bag. He had worked extra shifts, skipped lunches, and even sold his gaming console to save every penny. Today, finally, he had enough. His fingers trembled as he entered his card information. The transaction went through and relief flooded his system. "Express delivery. Guaranteed within 2 hours," he read aloud, grinning. The drive home felt eternal, though it was only 20 minutes. Kenneth's mind raced with scenarios of Lydia's reaction. Would she cry? Would she throw her arms around him? He had imagined this moment so many times. His phone buzzed with the delivery confirmation just as he pulled into their apartment complex. Perfect timing. Kenneth bounded up the stairs 2 at a time, the designer shopping bag clutched in his sweaty palm. He had even managed to sweet-talk the store into including their signature gift wrapping. "Lydia," he called out as he reached their floor. "Baby, I'm home early. I have a surprise for—" The words died in his throat. Their apartment door stood slightly ajar, hanging open like a broken promise. Kenneth's excitement transformed into cold dread as he approached slowly. "Lydia?" he called again, his voice barely above a whisper. Muffled sounds drifted from within the apartment. Voices, movement. Kenneth's hand shook as he pushed the door open wider. The living room was a mess. Lydia's clothes were scattered across the floor, leading like breadcrumbs toward their bedroom. A man's jacket hung over the back of their couch, a jacket Kenneth had never seen before. The sounds grew clearer now. Low murmurs, soft laughter, the unmistakable creak of their bed frame. Kenneth's legs felt like lead as he forced himself forward, the gift bag slipping from his numb fingers and hitting the floor with a soft thud. Each step toward their bedroom felt like walking through quicksand. The bedroom door was cracked open just enough for Kenneth to see everything he never wanted to see. Lydia was there, in their bed, wrapped in the arms of a man Kenneth didn't recognize. A tall, well-dressed stranger with expensive-looking watch glinting on his wrist. "Oh God, Marcus, you're incredible," Lydia gasped, her voice filled with a passion Kenneth hadn't heard from her in months. Kenneth's world tilted on its axis. The gift bag lay forgotten in the hallway as he stood frozen, watching his 3-year relationship crumble before his eyes. The stranger, Marcus, noticed him first. "Ah, Lydia." Lydia turned, her eyes widening when she saw Kenneth standing in the doorway. But there was no shame in her expression, no regret. Instead, annoyance flashed across her features. "Kenneth! What are you doing here? You're supposed to be working." What is this?" Kenneth's voice cracked like a teenager's. "Lydia, what the hell is going on?" Love? Lydia's voice turned ice cold. Love doesn't pay bills, Kenneth. Love doesn't get me the life I deserve. You think love is enough when I'm embarrassed to tell people what my boyfriend does for a living? Kenneth stepped into the room, his hands outstretched. Please, Lydia. We can work this out. I can do better. I can find a better job, make more money. Stop! Lydia held up her hand. Just stop. You're embarrassing yourself, and frankly, you're embarrassing me. This is over, Kenneth. It's been over for months. I just didn't have the heart to tell you. But the apartment, our plans, everything we talked about. Wake up, Lydia shouted. Those were your plans, not mine. I never wanted this life with you. I was settling, waiting for something better to come along. And it did. She smiled at Marcus, who looked increasingly uncomfortable with the situation. Kenneth reached for her, desperate. Please just give me another chance. I can change. I can be better. The slap came so suddenly that Kenneth didn't see it coming. The sharp crack echoed through the room as Lydia's palm connected with his cheek, sending him stumbling backward. Don't you dare touch me, she hissed. You're less than a man, Kenneth. You're a failure, and I'm tired of pretending otherwise. Now get out of my sight before I call the police and tell them you're harassing us. Kenneth stood there, his cheek burning, his heart shattered into a million pieces. The woman he had loved, the woman he had sacrificed everything for, stared at him with nothing but disgust and contempt. Get out, Kenneth, she repeated, her voice deadly quiet. Take your pathetic gift and get out of my life forever. Kenneth stood frozen in the doorway, his cheek still stinging from Lydia's slap, watching as she casually began pulling clothes from their shared dresser. What are you doing? He asked, his voice hollow. What does it look like, genius? Lydia tossed a handful of lingerie into an expensive suitcase Kenneth had never seen before. I'm leaving. This whole charade has gone on long enough. Marcus had finished dressing and was now awkwardly gathering his things. Lydia, maybe we should talk about this somewhere else. No, Marcus, he needs to hear this. Lydia turned to face Kenneth, her eyes cold as winter. Kenneth, I'm done pretending. I'm done living in this dump, eating ramen noodles, and lying to my friends about what you do for a living. But where will you go? Kenneth's voice cracked. This is your home too. Lydia laughed bitterly as she continued packing. Home? This rat hole. Marcus has a penthouse downtown. Real marble countertops, not the fake laminate crap we have here. A view of the city, not the dumpster behind the Chinese restaurant. Lydia, please. Please what, Kenneth? Please keep pretending I'm happy living paycheck to paycheck. Please keep lying to myself that you'll ever amount to anything. She zipped up the suitcase with violent force. I'm 25 years old. I'm not wasting my prime years on someone who peaked as a pizza delivery boy. Marcus stepped forward, his expensive cologne filling the small room. Look, Kenneth, I'm sorry it had to happen this way, but Lydia deserves better than this. Better than what? Kenneth's voice rose. Better than someone who loves her? Better than someone who would do anything for her? Better than a loser, Marcus said bluntly. Better than someone who has to choose between paying rent and buying groceries. Better than someone whose biggest accomplishment is getting Employee of the Month at a pizza joint. Lydia nodded approvingly. Exactly. Marcus gets it. He understands what a woman needs. And what's that? Kenneth demanded. Security. Success. Status. Lydia ticked off each word on her manicured fingers. Things you'll never be able to provide because you're too busy feeling sorry for yourself to actually do something with your life. Kenneth watched helplessly as Marcus effortlessly lifted Lydia's heavy suitcase, not even straining under the weight. The same suitcase that would have taken Kenneth considerable effort to move. You know what the sad part is, Kenneth? Lydia paused at the bedroom door, looking back at him with pity. I actually tried to make this work. I told myself that money wasn't everything, that your potential would be enough. But potential doesn't pay for nice dinners. Potential doesn't buy designer clothes. Potential is just another word for failure. I was working towards something better, Kenneth protested weakly. I was going to night school, remember? I was trying to get my business degree. Were you? Lydia's eyebrows shot up. When was the last time you actually went to class, Kenneth? When was the last time you even opened a textbook? Kenneth's mouth opened and closed like a fish. She was right. He dropped out 6 months ago when work got too demanding, too exhausting. That's what I thought, Lydia said smugly. You're a quitter, Kenneth. You quit school, you'll quit any decent job that requires actual effort, and you would have quit on me eventually, too. That's not true, isn't it? She stepped closer, her voice dropping to a venomous whisper. When was the last time you took me somewhere nice? When was the last time we went on a real vacation? When was the last time you made me feel like a woman instead of a roommate who occasionally lets you sleep in her bed? Kenneth felt tears threatening again. I've been saving money. For what? That stupid bag. You think one overpriced purse makes up for 3 years of mediocrity?